Lollipop Chainsaw is a really mid Grasshopper manufacturer game to me. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it was particularly well made or interesting. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but like when I look into like, how hyped I was for that game when it first came out, I was expecting like something No More Heroes tier. I was expecting something that like impressed me the way that game did, and I came away like really really disappointed in that sense. And in hindsight, I wonder if that was like warranted or if that was fair. So I will be coming back to Lollipop Chainsaw this weekend and playing through it again with the re-release on Nintendo Switch. At the very least, they finally released the game on a proper video game platform, okay? A Nintendo platform, which is where it should have been to begin with, but at the very least, they corrected that one major oversight. So Lollipop Chainsaw is now available on Switch. I will be picking up this weekend, and I am looking forward to it. But now that I've been paying attention to the community and what they've been saying about this, I have uncovered this really wretched hive of some of the most delusional Coomer and anti-Coomer bait like imaginable. Because this is a really interesting thing that I do think needs to be addressed in regards to like the community because like everybody knows about like the anti-gooners and like the Puritans and like the wokies and stuff like that, people who cry about the sexualization of the female lead and stuff like that, people who are keep trying to co-opt the brand and like ruin it and subvert it and stuff like that. There were a lot of people like that, and I think that aspect of it has been talked to death, right? I've seen people like address these people. They don't seem to have much of an impact on the sales, the relevancy. Nobody takes them seriously, right? Like they are a dying community. That's been pretty apparent for a while now. Nobody likes them, nobody respects them. But like on the flip side, and this is really really weird, you do have the Coomers, right? You have Coomers coming after Lollipop Chainsaw, right? And it's insane what these people are doing. Like, I'll be completely 100% honest. Like, I think in regards to this specific release, the Coomer audience is more delusional and out of touch than than the Wokies, right? Like, it really comes off that way because when you watch what these people are doing, when you watch what they're saying, when you watch how they acted about this, right? When you look at like the build up to release, like you've seen these people, they're sitting there and they're just like, oh, it's gonna be censored, they're gonna ruin it, they're gonna botch it, and then the game comes out and nothing's wrong with it, and then they just immediately flip. They're gonna censor it later, days, weeks, months, years later. There's no reason to support this because they're gonna censor it anyway, as if it's like not possible to just not get an update for the game, as if it's not possible to like adjust like censorship. Like again, like the game has a PC release, so like if you were really concerned about that, you can just do what like Stellar Blade fans are gonna do and just mod it back in after it comes out, right? Like again, if you were interested in that, there are workarounds and like it's not that big of a deal. But for some reason, there was this very vocal group of people who genuinely thought that this game was out to get them, even though that it specifically seemed to be going out of its way to pander to them, right? Like it was crazy, like how people were like trying to compare the jiggle physics and say that like they were bouncier in like the original game, and like oh they were censored, like I've seen people like try and like come out and say that like ooh they did this intentionally, like ooh like oh they're out to get us, like oh they hate us, we're not their audience. It's like it's such a delusional cope. It really is. Like because I've been saying this like for a long time about like the niche gamer people, and like I suppose these days this is like I call this like the raging golden eagle people because like this is the only time I've ever really seen this like behavior live, right? Is like people coping about this in real time. But like, yeah, they seem to want. Well, first of all, like it really does feel as if the only thing they care about in any kind of entertainment is sexualization, right? Like all they care is about Coomer bait, right? They don't care about like the actual quality of the product. They don't care about like uh how good it is overall. They don't care about like, new features or like positive changes to the game. Like all they care about like, oh, what's she wearing, bro? Like how much skin is she showing, bro? Like it's just it's just bizarre. Like we keep seeing this with like Dragon Quest, right? Last year with Dragon Quest: The Dark Prince, right? Terrible game. Like objectively terrible. It shit all over the plot of Dragon Quest 4. It has all these issues with like balancing and like the areas are foreign to navigate. It looks and runs like shit. Like Dragon Quest: The Dark Prince, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince has a ton of real technical issues. But what did like the Coomer audience like complain about? Maya is wearing spats now. A character that appears twice in the game and has two lines is wearing spats. So we're not going to buy it. Like again, like the game has like bigger problems, right? There's more things to talk about in regard to like what Dragon Quest: The Dark Prince did wrong, right? Like there's more like real things to talk about. But you're gonna sit there and complain about Maya not showing like her entire leg, right? Really? Like really? You're gonna complain about her top? Like you're gonna complain about like an aesthetic change? Like really? And it's not like she looked that way in like in-game sprites in older games. Like no, because like she was like a little 8-bit model, right? Like the thigh thing is something that was only in concept art, right? So like you're really going to sit there and try to tell me the game is censored because she's wearing spats now. Like get out of here. It's absurd. Okay, it is ridiculous, and it really should be called out more. And and with like Lollipop Chainsaw, like we're seeing the producer Yasuhiro Wada, the man behind like No More Heroes and a lot of other like Suda 51 projects, right? We're seeing Wada get harassed about this, right? Really? Like people were crying censorship before the game even came out, and like that's clearly not what happened here. People have been pointing this out, but like the community is in denial about this, right? They really want to pretend that they're being victimized by Japanese creators. And like this has happened like a couple of other times. The most notable example I think is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's gotten so bad that like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 fans have started pushing back against these people, and now that they have a reputation for being like, censorship cocksuckers, right? It's like it's ridiculous, right? So again, like I do think there does need to be a more of a pushback in the community in regards to this kind of thing, because why exactly should we boycott games based on what female characters are wearing? Like, who cares? Lollipop Chainsaw is something that I'm really looking forward to playing, and I will be buying and playing this game this weekend.